Hi everyone, this is week 30 of the 52-week project. This is Abstract. I think this is the last week for Abstract as well. Let's get started on this image. This image is it's the shower curtain, and it had these weird little shapes cut out into them. I don't know if you can see the little designs, like kind of magnification swirly thingies cut in there. I don't know what you call them, but I thought they were kind of cool. So, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to straighten it out a little bit because it bothers me. It is kind of crooked. The curtain was actually kind of bent, so I'm not going to be able to get 100% straight, but I'll do the best I can. So I'm going to click on the straighten tool here. And I'm just going to zoom in just a tiny bit. Try and find a line here. Pull it across. And I guess that'll work. I hit enter. And it looks like it straightened it out pretty nicely. And I'm going to be turning this into a black and white with the little starbursty looking thing in there from the flash. It would be kind of cool to make into a black and white image. So, first thing I'm going to start off to do is bump up the contrast, because black and white images usually it has a lot to do with the contrast in the image. So I'm going to push that up a considerable amount. I'll leave it right around there. I've got a nice darks in here. A little bit in here, but it kind of fades out. So look at this gradual light going through the image there. So almost like a radial gradient going through there. But this is a little hot in here for me, so I'm gonna bring the highlights down. I'm just take them all out completely. But I do want a little bit more light up in here, so I'm going to raise the whites. I won't make it too bright. A little preview of what it was. It was really dull before, and kind of just pops a bit. I'm going to open this up in Photoshop now. This is a smart object. And close that. The first thing I'm going to do is fix this lower corner here. I didn't notice it in Camera Raw there, so I'm going to go over to the crop tool. I'm just going to move that up a little bit just to get rid of that. Okay. Yeah, I think that looks a little better. I guess maybe we'll just put it off to black and white now, and I'm going to use an adjustment layer, and it's going to be a gradient map, and it's going to be black to white, which looks a little dull. I think it needs a little more contrast, and it's a good example of why I like to use a smart object. I'm going to double click it and go back into Camera Raw, and just to give it more contrast, instead of making the contrast go up, I'm just going to actually darken the blacks up a bit. I think that looks pretty good, and I'm just going to hit OK. You see when it comes back in, we instantly have a lot more contrast. And the reason why I did it that way is if I were to make a say an adjustment layer and then lower the or increase the darks, have a possibility of generating more noise. Since it was a raw file, go back into Camera Raw and have less likely of a chance of bringing more noise back into the image. So let's continue on here, and I think I'm going to add a little bit more contrast. I'm going to make sure I have this background layer or bottom layer selected. I'm just going to add a new curves adjustment layer. And these gray areas, I'm going to bring them down a little bit. Let's say actually move the dark areas down. Let's move that up a bit. That looks pretty good. And let's see, maybe increase those, add a little more contrast there. A little higher with that. And I think that's got a nice bit of contrast. It's got a lot of contrast in here. You got really brights and you got the nice darks in there. But what happened was this just went completely to white. So I'm just going to grab this. I'm going to lower it down. Actually, bringing it down like this is actually inverting it. And I kind of like how it looks, to be honest with you. I think that's kind of cool. Yeah, I like that. Alright. I think that's it. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Alright. This was a pretty quick video here today, but let's go to full screen mode. And I think that looks really good on black. It's a lot of contrast there, so zoom in just a little bit more so you can see. Alright guys, I'll see you next week.